Hello, everyone. How you doing? Today we're going to talk about Donald Trump again. Imagine that, Donald Trump again, and his loss of, I guess, old allies. And we're going to walk through that, and I'll give you my opinion, and you can give me yours. How about that? Because I think it's disingenuous to say the least. Okay, be right back.
A little bit of crazy, but a whole lot of right. You're listening to the Average Joe Podcast with Damon Gilbert.
All right, we're back now. Pull up a chair to the kitchen table and let's talk about these things, okay? Donald Trump's lost a lot of allies here in the last couple of months, actually. People are starting to turn on him. I don't think it's warranted for the most part. Some people are calling him insane. I don't think he's insane. I just think the gloves are off. This particular post he put in, I think it was on Twitter. I'm gonna share this with you right quick. And was it a little over the top? Maybe it was. He probably shouldn't have done that. It's AI generated. Would I have done that? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, by the way, if you get a chance, I mean, I'm not asking much. Just like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video and subscribe. Please do that. That's currency to me. Means nothing to you. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay? All right. Appreciate it. So, yeah, got the business out of the way. Let's move on. Okay, here it is. It says, now this, you got to remember, this is the week. This is I wouldn't call this a conservative newspaper by or organization by any stretch, but it says here, every day and every week, it becomes more alarmingly evident that in the White House, a mad king reigns. Okay, virtually unchecked. Now, this is coming from a reporter in the Los Angeles Times. Uh, I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know that he is a madman. Do you think he's a madman? Do you? Because if he was a madman, he would be doing other things than what he's doing. Now, was this a good idea to post this on True Social? Probably not. Would I have done it? I don't know. Got a rise out of everybody. That's for sure. Of course, they're claiming he's insane now. And the likes of Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, who, by the way, is insane. She's the one that thinks the prime minister of France's wife is a man, which, again, I've talked about this before. Who cares? Okay. She's self imploded. Alex Jones has been sued for $1 billion for shit that he's said. And Tucker Carlson is out of a job. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she quit. She's a coward in my book. She's a quitter. Then you've got Megyn Kelly, who has a very successful podcast, but it's not working for a major network. So these are basically losers doing this, saying this. So you've got a billionaire, self-made man for the most part. I actually was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day, and he was claiming that Donald Trump had everything handed to him. He didn't go into great detail, but he has a tendency to just parrot what he hears on the networks. And he doesn't like Trump to begin with. So I can kind of see his point. Maybe he may have a bit of a point, but even let's just say for the sake of argument, how many people you know who could take, let's say, $1 million? Just $1 million. Somebody hands you $1 million. Do you think, or do you know of anyone in that group of your friends, your family, acquaintances, people you work with, who you honestly believe could take that $1 million and build it into an empire worth billions of dollars? Do you think that's possible? I don't think I could do it. I don't know of anyone. I mean, I know of people who could do well. I'm not saying that they would spend it all. Now, I do know those too. I do know people like that who would squander it and be gone in a year. But Do you honestly know anyone who's smart enough to be able to do that? And Donald Trump did that. Despite what people say, they say, oh, his old man gave him millions of dollars and he's never worked a day in his life. Well, the not working a day in his life, maybe I'll give you that one. But is he a madman like these people are portraying him? Is he crazy? Or has he just gotten to the point where, I mean, you got to remember, this guy doesn't have to run for re-election. He doesn't have to prove anything. He doesn't have to worry about the next election. He doesn't have to worry. He's got to worry about the midterms. That's true. 2026 coming up here in November. And with what happened in Virginia here just lately, I think the Democrats are going to do everything they can to steal it. And I got another friend of mine who believes that the Republicans are going to lose the Senate and the House. What do you guys think? Put it down in the comments. What do you think? You think we're going to lose the Senate and the House? I think we'll probably lose the House. I think they'll steal it like they did in 2020. They're working on it right now. Yeah. Now, 5 years ago, I couldn't say that. Okay. Or 5 years. No, 4 years ago, you couldn't say anything about the 2022 election. Today, you can. So I can say blatantly that the 2022 election or the 2020 election was stolen. Yeah, it was. They took advantage of it. They knew exactly what they were doing. Now, this is all going to come together because I have a point I'm trying to make here. Now, again, I want to read you a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. On Easter Sunday, with Iran defying his demands to open the Strait of Hormuz to oil tankers, our commander-in-chief posted on Truth Social, "Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell." He threatened to completely destroy Iran's power plants, bridges, and infrastructure, leaving 93 million Iranians without electricity, running water, or functioning hospitals, and followed 2 days later with this genocidal vow: "A whole civilization will die tonight." In everything the nearly 80-year-old Trump does, he shows the world he is mentally unstable, unfit for the office. Really? We're talking about is it braggadocious? Is it kind of over the top? Maybe. But in my opinion, that's exactly what you should do. You want to bring these people to their knees? That's exactly what you do. You destroy everything. Let them build from nothing. It's what we did in Europe. It's what we did in Germany. It's what we did in Vietnam. Why is this different? Because at the end of the day, when you look, call me crazy. I'd rather pay higher gas prices temporarily than sit on our ass doing nothing until Iran does this to us. And I agree 100%. That's what you're staring at. That's what could have happened. That's what is on the table here. And they've told us they'll do that. So as far as being crazy, I mean, maybe he's using the wrong wording, but I kind of like this guy that shoots from the hip. I like it when he says things like this. You know that's going to get a rise out of him. They've got to be scared. But overall, why are people turning on him? Why are they doing it? I think they're doing it for money. That's what I think. I think people in media see an opportunity to make money. That's all this is. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's in a boat and she's at sea without an oar. She has where's she going? She's not a congressman anymore. So now she comes out against this. She gets her name in the paper. She can make money. That's it. That's all this is about. Because at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, and I don't know about you, but here's what these people, the Alex Joneses, the Tucker Carlsons, the Megyn Kellys of the world, they're not giving me any alternative here. They're saying Trump's bad, that he's insane, that we need to get him out of office. I guess we need to 25th him. But what is your alternative? You would have J.D. Vance. Or better yet, would have been better if he hadn't won the election. Would we be better off as a nation today if we had Kamala Harris in office? Or better yet, Would we be better off if we still had Joe Biden in office? By the way, I don't know about you, but I thought old Joe had stage 4 cancer. Does anybody remember that? Do you remember them saying that? That he had stage 4, I think it was prostate cancer. Stage 4. That's a pretty big deal. But yet it's been over a year. How's this working? Yeah. So it was all bullshit, basically. Yeah, to try and garner sympathy for that old man. Would you rather have him in charge? Because I'm telling you, folks, you're not going to get a sane Democrat in charge. You're not. You're not going to get a sane Republican in charge. If for instance, let's just go back. Rand Paul. Do you think Rand Paul would be where would he be right now in this position? Would he have attacked Iran? Would he? If he didn't, what are we waiting for? What would we be waiting for? We'd be waiting and watching as they made a nuclear weapon to use against us in Israel. And eventually they would, and what we would probably do is continue to give them money. That's the way we do business. Is that what you want? Do you want more of that? Because I don't. I like Trump. I like that he's bragged, he brags and he's loud and he says things that most politicians would never say. Because here's the thing, he's not a politician. And that's why I like him. Is he perfect? Of course not. Of course not. He's done all kinds of things I don't like. But in this case, I think he's right. Iran has to be dealt with. Has to be dealt with today. Obama didn't do it. Joe Biden gave him money. We wouldn't be sitting in this position today if Joe Biden had not given them those frozen funds. What was it, $4 billion? We wouldn't even be sitting here today. We wouldn't even be discussing this. It gave them power. The Iranians need to be put in their place. And I think the United States, you know what else? I go back to what I don't agree with Trump. Quit moving this deadline. Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop moving the deadline. Stop giving in. These people are not negotiating with you. What they're doing is they're trying to work it where they're trying to run the clock out. You ever seen a basketball team do that? Or a football team run the clock out? You got 30 seconds, 45 seconds left in the game. Just hang on to the ball. You're killing the clock. It's exactly what you're doing. That's what Iran's doing. They're saying, hey, in a little over 2.5 years, we won't have to deal with this guy anymore. We'll have a new guy. And the new guy will probably be softer. And he'll want to work with us. And he'll believe our lies. As long as we can survive for the next 2.5 years, we're going to be good. So what are we going to do? We're going to tell the United States that we're going to negotiate with you. And then we won't do anything. Oh yeah, we're gonna work on that. Let us think about this. We'll get back with you. How about we get together in 3 months, talk about it again. And then they do that over and over and over again until they run out the clock. That's all this is. Iran needs to be dealt with today. It does. And I don't give a damn about this. Look. I don't care about this picture. Couldn't care less. These people trying to convince me that Trump thinks he's Jesus Christ. I heard somebody say the other day, they think he's the Antichrist. I can't deal with that kind of stupidity. I just can't. If anybody's the Antichrist, it could quite possibly be the Pope. Because I don't know of any Pope that could come out and, I guess, be kind to Islam. It's in direct contradiction to your religion. This Pope's a nut. I tell you what, I have absolutely no respect for him whatsoever. None. This guy's, there's something wrong with this guy. And he could be the Antichrist. But that's another story. My point here is when lunatics like Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson. By the way, if you know anything about Tucker Carlson, talk about somebody who's never worked a day in their life. That guy has. Look into his background. He's come from the rich. He knows nothing but being rich. Okay. Got canned from Fox for shooting his mouth off. At one point, I kind of supported him to some degree, but he's made a turn, and again, it's all for clicks. It's all for attention. That's all it is. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens. People are making this change, and you're gonna regret that decision. You really are. This is not gonna. Hang on just a second. Somebody called? No. Okay. Got too many phones going. But you're going to regret this. People are going to regret this. I mean, look at some of the. Okay, here we go. It's no longer just here it is. It's no longer just Democrats and late night comedians questioning Trump's sanity, says Peter Baker in the New York Times. New York Times. Yeah, like they're gonna give him some credit. Retired generals, former Republican officials, and foreign leaders are expressing deep concern about the state of mind of the oldest president ever inaugurated. In his second term, Trump seems even less restrained and more incoherent, publicly using profanity, wandering off at official meetings into odd tangents about poisonous steaks, Sharpie pens, and his White House ballroom, and repeatedly calling Greenland Iceland while insisting it should belong to him. Really? That's it? That's all you got? This guy's trying to protect the United States from a future attack by a foreign power, the Iranians, who have said that's what they want to do. Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I posted this on something the other day, and most people agreed with me. You know, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, during World War II, he interned all the Japanese in the United States. He put them in cages. He put them in prison cells, basically. Didn't matter if you were born here. Didn't matter what kind of heritage you had, how you got here, what your belief system. They didn't care. They didn't care. You were Japanese. The Japanese had just attacked us and declared war on us in December of 1941. And FDR said, you know what? We're going to round all these people up because there may be sleeper cells here. They may attack the United States. They didn't know what was going to happen at that point. It's easier to look back at it right now. Oh, you know, as an armchair Monday morning quarterback and say, oh, they shouldn't have done that. Why not? Why not do that? In my opinion, that should be done here in the United States. It sure should. And I know that's a terrible thing to say. And most people would say, you're crazy. Why would you want to do that? That'd be against the Constitution. Don't care at this point. This is a fight for survival, folks. It's a fight for survival. Islam's main concern is to destroy us. That's it. That's what they want to do. They'll tell you that. Now, does that mean every Iranian or every Muslim is a horrible person looking to destroy the United States? No, not necessarily. But at the end of the day, are you willing to risk that? Let me ask you this. Let's just say for the sake of argument, you're living in a town and an Iranian moves in next door, or a Muslim. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It could be anybody. They're Muslim. They've got the writing on the wall. They got something out in their yard. You know they're Muslim. They're from a Muslim religion or a country. Would you want them next door? Would you think that that's a good thing? Do you think it'd be a good idea to have them going to school with your children, their children going to school with your children? I mean, especially if the woman is wearing the headdress and hiding her face. I was a UPS driver for 20 years. And I delivered to a college town in Rolla, Missouri. And there was an area in there called the International apartments. That's what it was. International apartments. And it was probably an apartment complex of probably, it's been so long ago, I can't really remember. And this has been years ago. This was right after uh, this was, yeah, this was prior to the Iraq War, the first one, the first Desert Storm. Um, it probably had 250 apartments, and they were mainly of students. There's an engineering school in Rolla, big one, probably one of the most prestigious in all of the United States. And at the time, it was called UMR. Uh, so people from all over the world would come there to learn engineering and mining and computers, computer science, that kind of thing. And a lot of the people in this international apartments were Muslim, and it was quite something to see, because you had people from all over the world. You had them from China, you had them from Vietnam. A lot of South Americans were there. It was from all over the place. But I'll never forget, in one instance, well, actually there were two instances. I happened to knock on a door one day. Now, in back then, and I think still today, for most UPS drivers, you have, especially in apartment delivery, you have to get a signature. So that means you have to see someone. And I knocked on a door, and I knew it was a Muslim family living there. For one thing, you could smell them. Sorry, doesn't make me a racist. Just makes it a fact. The fact that I observed it and I smelled it doesn't make me a racist. Okay. And I knocked on the door, and there were children in there. So one of them popped the door open, and the woman was standing there. Okay. It wasn't like she was naked. She had shorts on, a shirt. She looked fine. But the fact that I'd seen her face without a headdress on, without a veil on, she went crazy. Started screaming, took off running. It was a whole deal. Wasn't my fault. The kid popped the door open. But it turned into an incident. I had to explain to my boss. They called. It was a whole deal. They made a big deal out of it. Somehow or other, I don't know. I can't even remember the wording on it, to be honest with you. It had something to do with, I had violated something. I can't remember the wording on the complaint. But I mean, my boss and I were kind of chuckling about it. He had to address it with me, and I told him the story. He goes, "Nah, don't worry about it." He said, "It's not that big of a deal." But you look at it from a standpoint of, it's a completely different, I guess, species. And that's the species, probably the wrong word. Culture. It's a completely different culture. Why they want to come over here, I don't know. I guess they feel that they can come over here and do better, make money. I mean, they're greedy just like everybody else. So they think, most of these people don't go back home, though. See, that's the thing. They come over here. Now, mind you, my wife's paying for a student loan. These people didn't do that. These people are brought over from other countries on our dime to go to our schools. And then, best case scenario, they take what they've learned and go back to their home country and use our money against us. Because my guess is, and this is just a guess, but my guess is that a lot of the engineers that left and were educated in the town I was delivering in took their education, their free education, went back home, and are probably some of the people that are building the bombs or the missiles that are being launched over there against us. So it's a weird world, isn't it? It truly is. We're paying someone to fight against us. So Donald Trump's the one guy who stood up and said, "Hey, we probably shouldn't be doing this. Maybe we should take another look at this." And sure, he's got a mouth on him. There's no doubt about it. He's got a mouth on him. But I kind of respect that at some level because I've got a mouth on me. So I can identify with that. When he shoots his mouth off and says something stupid, calls Greenland Iceland. It was okay when it was okay when Joe Biden couldn't find his way into the building. That was okay. We were supposed to look the other way. No big deal. Yeah, Joe's is on top of it as you've ever seen. Yeah, isn't that what Joe Scarborough told us? Yeah. So my point is this: at the end of the day, hate him all you want. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But what's your alternative? Until you can bring to me an alternative of how we should be reacting to Iran, how we should be, I guess, negotiating with them, how should we be doing it? Give me an alternative. It's easy to stand back and complain and make fun of and dissect something and say that it's wrong, but it's another complete thing to show me an alternative. None of these people, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, nobody's got an alternative. They just say he's nuts. He's lost his mind. What did Tucker Carlson say here? I'm going to move back here. Let's see here. Hang on just a second. Whoops. Yeah, it takes me a while to figure all this stuff out. Let's see. Stop sharing it. And let's try it again. Let's see. Yeah. Here's what Tucker Carlson said. He said, I'm sorry for misleading you on Trump. Sorry for misleading people on Trump. Now, is that the face of somebody you trust? Is it? He says, I wrote speeches for him. I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure, Carlson told his brother in the latest Tucker Carlson show episode. It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now. What the hell does that mean? Listen,
you and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time.
Bullshit. This guy's a loser. That kind of namby-pamby shit. Just stand on it. Own it. Okay? God, I hate him. What a loser. Yeah, I mean, he's not even on a major network anymore. Nobody listens to this guy. And if you do, the only reason I listened to him originally was because he was a Trump supporter. And I thought maybe this guy's seen the light. Maybe he understands how this is going to work. He doesn't, though. He's standing here and acting like the only reason I voted for Trump was because he said to. Well, that's pretty self-serving. What an egotistical asshole. I can't stand this guy. Can't stand him. And here's Trump's response. It says, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. And I swear to God, folks, that's exactly what they're doing. They're irrelevant at this point. Tucker Carlson wants you to believe that he's the reason Donald Trump got elected. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. Alex Jones wants you to believe that. And this is Alex Jones, who got sued for $1 billion and lost everything. Ended up getting a divorce. That guy's lost his mind. There's been some kind of a shift in Alex Jones. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. Every time I listen to him, I have to cringe a little bit. And I used to be a supporter of his. I used to listen to him a lot. But he's lost his mind. I think the people that have lost their minds are the ones that are doing this. They're claiming that another guy's lost his mind. They've lost their minds. And they're doing it for money. Yeah. And here it says, our bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, I will say this in Alex Jones' defense. I heard what he said. Should he have been sued? I mean, he had some valid points about fake actors, crisis actors being there, but no one looked into it. No one cared. Sandy Hook, that's a whole nother story. But I mean, why would you doze an entire school because of a shooting? That made no sense to me. But it didn't make any sense to me that you know, after 9/11, you clean everything up and ship it to China. So, like I said, completely different story. Completely different story. We'll talk about it at some other point. But back to Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump perfect? Absolutely not. He's not. I never claimed he was. He never claimed he was. He's had flaws. He's done things wrong. He's owned up to most of them. And is he braggadocious? Is he a loudmouth? Yeah, absolutely. He's not a politician. He didn't come from that world. He's not a career politician. Do you want a career politician to be the president of the United States? Do you? Do you want a Democrat to be president of the United States? Do you want a Democratic Congress? Do you want that? Because I don't. Nothing good will come from that. Nothing good. Do you want a nuclear armed Iran? Do you? Because I don't. Because I know they'll use it. So, what do we do now? What do we do now? I say we go ahead and keep supporting Donald Trump. That's what I say. That's what I'm going to do. Am I going to defend everything he says? Absolutely not. A lot of times he's out of line. But who isn't? I've said things I've regretted. No human doesn't have regrets. Okay? Now, does he shoot from the hip sometimes? Yeah, he does. He's got people in charge that can't, I'm sure, calm him down. But on the upside, he's usually right. We cannot have an Iran that has nuclear weapons. That's the bottom line here. Now, people are saying, well, you know, you attacked a sovereign country that had done nothing to the United States. See, because they want, here's what they want to do. They want to compare this incident with Putin and Russia invading Ukraine. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. When Russia went into Ukraine, was that a threat to us? No, it wasn't. No. And that, by the way, is turning into a quagmire for the Russians. I don't think Putin's going to survive this. I really don't. Ukraine's putting up a hell of a fight. They really are. Russians are dying. I mean, they're going to lose an entire generation. I don't know what Russia's going to do. Russia's a paper tiger. We worried about them. They try to have these boogeymans. The powers that be want that boogeyman that you and I are scared of. And we were scared of Russia for years. Of course, at the time, they were called the Soviet Union. We were always afraid that they were going to launch missiles, and come to find out, most of their stuff doesn't even work. I mean, look at what happened in Iran. China and Russia both sold at a very high price, anti-missile or anti-aircraft technology, radar jamming technology to Iran. Charge them a pretty penny for it. None of it worked. We swooped in. Nobody even knew we were there. That's got to hurt. You'll notice Russia and China aren't saying much about this. And China's going to have to get into the mix here. I think Trump's going to see him in, I don't know, I guess a few weeks. He's going to meet with Xi. That's where China got their oil from Venezuela and Iran. This is going to hurt. It's going to hurt China. And China's a paper tiger too. Don't let anybody kid you. All they know how to do is steal stuff from you and then replicate it. Counterfeit it. That's all they know. They're not that good. I mean, their aircraft are basically built like ours. They mimic ours. They look like a reflection of the aircraft that we build. Why is that? Because they steal the technology from us and they use it. That's why. So why are we scared of them? They say, there's 1 billion Chinese. Is there really? Is there? I don't know. I've seen some reports that says that that's not even close, that there's less than that. And they've got an issue too with their fertility rate. Yeah, they've got the same issues everybody else does, especially in the Middle East, in Asia. Birth rates are way down. These people are going to disappear at some point. That's what's going to happen. If you don't have enough children born to replace the old people, your country's doomed. Because, and the United States is getting into that position too. I think right now, currently the birth rate is 1.6, I think, per person. And it needs to be over 2 in order to sustain your society. So we've got our own problems. And you look at the young people of today, you can tell why. And a lot of people say, well, it's because it's too expensive for them to go out and be on their own. All this. No, it's not that. The society's changed. I mean, if you've been out on the street lately, have you gone uptown? What's going on in our society? I mean, I can't even go uptown just to the grocery store without coming back so annoyed by the way people react, the way their behavior is unbelievable. I know we're switching gears here. I think I'm done with the Trump thing. I think you got that straight, didn't you? You understand where I'm coming from on that? Because if you don't, we can go back over it. But I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm not a Trump acolyte. Okay? That means that I can take him. I can live with his doing what he does. That's fine. I think for the most part, the vast majority of things he's done has been good. And yeah, I know price of gas is up. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I'd rather, as it shows in this one here, I'd rather have gas prices temporarily high than a mushroom cloud. I really would. And I mean, Condoleezza Rice said it best, and I couldn't stand her. But during the Bush administration, you don't want your first indication that something's wrong to be a mushroom cloud. And that may not be exactly what she said, but you get the drift. And I agree with her. Now, at that time, in that particular instance, it was being based on false information. In Iran, it's not false. These people have been a pain in the ass for 47 years. They've been the central creator of terror around the world. Iran has. So it was time to make a move. It was. And I agree with him 100%. Now, back to what I was saying earlier, or when I was shifting gears here. Again, we bounce around a little bit here at the kitchen table. We do. But have you been uptown lately? What is wrong with people? And don't tell me it's because I'm old and that may have something to do with it. But I'm telling you, there's something wrong. Something's off. Our society is not like it used to be. We've got some serious issues. What is that? I mean, look at the crime rate. Let's put that aside. Let's just go with the basics, the simple stuff. Go uptown. No one, and it doesn't matter where you go. Some of the people may look better. They may have more money, because I live in a place that's per capita earnings not the highest. But you go 10 miles north, you run into an area that's not affluent, but it's better off. Does that change anything with the behavior? It really doesn't. People seem to be, for the most part, the vast majority of them seem to be pissed off. You very seldom see a smile. Have you noticed that? Everybody thinks that it seems to me everyone is in a bad mood most of the time. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the one. But I look around sometimes and I think to myself, and I used to open the door for women. I don't do that anymore. And I have to catch myself to keep me from doing it, because it infuriates me when I do it and the woman doesn't say thank you. Now, is that a little thing? That's a teeny tiny thing. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those teeny tiny things. When you add them all up, our society's completely changed. And I blame social media for all of it. I don't know about you. We've become what happens is people go on say, Facebook, and they have in their mind what they think a perfect life should look like. First of all, there are no perfect lives. Everybody's got trouble. I don't care what they post on Facebook. I don't care what they put in there. You see your friend or family member posting stories about how great they've got it and how their kids are doing great. And it's completely bullshit. It really is. Every family's got problems. Everyone. But in the back of their mind, they think, this person out here, they've got a better life than I do. So what do? They're mad all the time. They think there's something better on the other side of the fence here. It's greener over there. It's not. That's why the divorce rate's so high. I mean, I've been divorced. I know what it looks like. It's devastating. And a lot of times it's not better once it happens. But I think people, because of social media, are sad. They're depressed. I mean, think about it. Think about the depression in this country right now. We are better off than any generation prior to us. And what's funny is in the United States, we're better off than 95% of everyone on the planet. And yet we walk around pissed off all the time. There's something wrong. There's going to come a tipping point. And when you factor into it, these people who are trying to destroy you, who are living right next to us in our communities, in our institutions. I mean, go to any college. Go to any college. What will you see? You'll see this melting pot, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I tell you what, when you have people coming to your country who do not want to acclimate, who do not want to become part of the collective, you get some serious issues. You really do. So anyway, I want to reinforce this. If you can, please, for me, please subscribe. Please like the video. Again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it is currency. In YouTube's mind, this is how it works. And it doesn't cost anything. As John Belushi said in the Animal House, have a beer. Don't cost nothing. Same thing here. Doesn't cost anything. Takes you 2 seconds. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. We'll be back again next week, and I'll probably have some, I'm gonna do some other shorter versions of this throughout the week. This is an evolving project, so it'll take a while to get it all up and running, get it finalized, and the routine will change probably consistently. I'll be consistent with my inconsistencies. How about that? Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got today, folks, and we will see you next time. Peace out.
A little bit of crazy, but a whole lot of right. You're listening to the Average Joe Podcast with Damon Gilbert.